welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here again to get into some fascinating sources, find those surprising insights.
Glad to be here.
So today we're looking at some personal notes.
Mm-hmm.
They're from a gardener, goes by Ang.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Notes on Gardening, Part 577. It's dated June 27th, 2025. And it describes this, well, really unexpected garden takeover. And maybe a change in thinking, too.
Yeah, it's a great example, I think, of how nature can kind of show you hidden value right under your nose sometimes.
Often in things that look, well, pretty ordinary.
Exactly. Unassuming.
And the star today is this plant, Andrographis Paniculata. You might just walk past it.
Right.
Or, like Ang at first, think it's just some common weed.
Right.
But Ang calls it a powerful herb, which, sounds like a contradiction.
It does a bit, yeah, given its appearance.
So our mission really is to unpack that. The story of this plant, how it went from being maybe overlooked to this really resilient, valued part of the garden. How does something so plain become, well, special?
Well, what's really interesting is looking back at Ang's notes, this wasn't a brand new discovery for them.
Oh, right.
No, they started collecting and studying wild plants from the garden quite a while back. This one, Andrographis, it was actually first mentioned way back in part 414.
Ah, okay. So there's history there.
Definitely. And even back then, Ang noted its resilience. It was thriving in its pot, quote, without much intervention.
Huh. Sort of the low-maintenance guess who just gets on with it.
Pretty much. And as an annual plant, Andrographis Paniculata lives its life, sets seed, and then, well, the seeds just go everywhere.
Right. It just spreads itself around.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm. Ang evidently saw lots of young plants just sprouting up nearby, completely wild, after the main plant had finished its cycle. It wasn't just surviving, it was, confidently expanding.
Okay, so it's tough. It spreads easily. But that doesn't fully explain the shift from weed to powerful herb, does it?
No, exactly. That's the key question. It's more than just being easy to grow.
And that's where it gets really interesting, I think. Ang's notes, they focus on the gardening side, sure, but they also touch on the plant's reputation.
Its other uses.
Yeah. Andrographis paniculata, it turns out, is actually well known in traditional Asian medicine.
Right. Known for having some potent compounds.
Used for things like immune support, fighting off colds. It has this really bitter taste, apparently, that's linked to its benefits.
So for Ang, it wasn't just finding a tough plant. It was realizing they had something botanically valuable right there in their own space.
Yeah, kind of accidental discovery of something useful.
And if you think bigger picture, it shows how understanding a plant's, let's say, hidden talents can change how you see it. It goes from being just wild, maybe ignored, to something you actively want in your collection. It kind of earned its place.
Because it's self-sufficient and it has this recognized value.
Precisely.
Which led Ang to say it was the, quote, perfect time to harvest these young plants and transplant them into individual pots.
Right, for more cultivation.
And they're even planning to use recycled plastic bottles as pots, which I love. Talk about leaning into the whole low-impact, self-sufficient vibe of the plant itself.
It's a great illustration, isn't it? This plant's journey in the garden. It really shows how sometimes the best stuff, the most valuable things, are the ones we walk past because they don't look, important or cultivated in the way we expect.
So we're wrapping this up a bit. We've seen Andrographis paniculata go from this wild thing, easily mistaken for a weed, to a recognized, powerful herb. Super resilient, low maintenance, naturally spreading. It basically just made itself a permanent fixture in Ang's garden with its own merits. And like we said, you can even grow it in old plastic bottles. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. And maybe that leads to a final thought for you listening.
Go on.
Well, considering how this Andrographis paniculata, this powerful herb, could be so easily missed, just seen as simple weed, what things in your own environment, maybe things you overlook or underestimate, might actually hold surprising value? Potential just waiting there for you to notice it, maybe observe it, perhaps even cultivate it.
That's a great question. Definitely something to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll catch you next time.